So in this book, we have, I'm coming less and less coherent. The Remembrance of Earth's Past trilogy by Cixin Liu contains the three-body problem, the Dark Forest, and Death's End. This trilogy is big on ideas. It's massive on ideas. It is classic hard sci-fi in the sense that it's massively about the ideas. We start off in book one, and what I'll do is I'll split this video into a non-spoiler at the beginning, and then I'm going to do a bit of a spoiler discussion at the end because I have things to say. So in the three-body problem itself, we pick up with the Cultural Revolution in China. That's where it starts. And we follow Ye Wenjie. I'm probably mispronouncing that, so I do apologise. But her storyline is absolutely critical to this story. And we start off as saying the Cultural Revolution and her impact and the effect it has on her family and her view of the world and where she sits in the world, or certainly within China as part of the world. And we also have, so that's set back in the 60s, late 60s. And then we jump forward in time to sort of present day-ish, I suppose. And we have basically really prominent scientists are committing suicide. And we're trying to find out why. And what we discover through this is there seems to be what the police believe is a secret cabal of scientists. And they want to understand what is going on. And there's a sort of a computer game, a virtual world that's been created that we get sucked into as well, which contains the three-body problem itself and trying to solve that. And it seems to be visualizing a world, the computer game seems to be visualizing a world in which we don't live. It's a different world, and trying to understand how that world works. It's quite exciting, it's quite interesting, it's fascinating to discover. And we are flicking between a couple of storylines, and we go back to Ye Wenjie and her struggles and what's happening in her life. And what we really get into is we get ideas of, and we will get to, I don't think this is a spoiler because it's in the Goodreads synopsis, but this is effectively a first contact story. So we have the three-body problem. We have this computer game, and that is, for this book, that is the key to the problem. That's the key of why these scientists are committing suicide. That's the key to the mystery that is actually spanning light years, and that's the key to what is an extinction level threat, or class an extinction level threat to humanity. So as I say, this has got big ideas. Now, the ideas from this to this just get bigger. The ideas in this one are enormous. They are fascinating. They are engaging. The size and the scope of this trilogy just grows and grows and grows with each book, and it just becomes absolutely huge. I think Cixin Liu's been compared to Arthur C. Clarke in his works, which I understand. He sort of has, as I say, it's classic hard sci-fi. So the ideas, it's all about the ideas, and the ideas are huge. And multi-dimensions. We've got ideas about the three-body problem. We've got the Dark Forest. We've got multiple dimensions. We're talking about, how dimensions work and the effect of dimensions and how different dimensions affect things. We've got so many things in that sense. So the ideas are massive, and we're talking about human level extinction. So it's huge, and it grows and expands even further. In this book, the flaws of this are, again, typical classic hard sci-fi, is though the ideas are multi-dimensional and huge, the characters are fairly flat and small, and they're plot devices to move the story along. And we get to points where we start jumping around in time and etc. But we never get, probably the best character is Ye Wenjie, and you can understand her motivations, but other characters as we come through it, their motivations are there to drive the plot, and that is it's one of the pitfalls of classic sci-fi. So if you enjoy classic hard sci-fi, then this is definitely for you. If you prefer more what we see, especially modern sci-fi nowadays, but we've seen it in the past as well, where it's character-driven sci-fi, this series is not for you. Don't pick this series up, because though the ideas may blow your mind, you won't get through it because the characters aren't developed. That's probably my recommendation. If you like sci-fi and you like hard sci-fi especially, this is exceptional. It can feel, one thing to note, it can feel, especially in the first book, it's not quite so bad in the second and third, maybe I just got used to it, but in the first book it can feel, because it's focused on physics and maths and ideas within those fields and realms, it can feel almost like a lecture at points, that we've got characters put in place to discuss this idea and basically explain it to you so you understand the idea. That is the purpose. In some places within this, it can feel very much like a lecture, which is really interesting because, one, I love non-fiction as well, so I don't mind reading that, but this doesn't always feel like a story with fictional characters. It can feel like you're sat in a classroom, so be wary of that. But as I say, the ideas are absolutely mind-blowing, and I'm going to pause there. So as I say, I'm going to recommend again, if you like sci-fi, if you like hard sci-fi, if you like maths and science, if you like understanding hypotheses of how the universe and solar system works, this could be a really interesting series for you. If you really are a reader who is motivated to read by characters and character development, just leave it. Don't read it. It's not going to engage you. It really not. The characters aren't that developed. So now I'm going to move on to some spoilers, because there's some stuff I want to talk about characters which will lead to spoilers. So if you don't want to hear any spoilers, then thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you again soon, hopefully in the next one. Now, if you do want to listen to spoilers, here we go. Because the characters aren't developed, there is a tendency to fall into gender stereotypes, which is not to say that these books are sexist. I would argue they're probably not, but they are certainly stereotypes. And the reason I say they're probably not is because we do have remarkably strong female lead character in this one, which is Ye-Wen-je, and the decisions she makes. And she's probably arguably the most developed character in the whole series, which again doesn't say a lot, but she probably is. We sort of understand her motivations more than we do anybody else in any of the other books, or for me, I did anyway. But what I mean by the stereotypes is that we get to, especially in the later books, we end up with men being manly men from the 20th century, and women being motherly and maternal and, caring, and men from the 20th century not caring and being brash and rash and not caring about other people's opinions but knowing they're right. So we get that. What I'd also say is, this is probably again spoilers, is it seems that from the way the books read, women will destroy the world, that they'll destroy humanity. And what I mean by that is, in the first book, Ye-Wen-je, she actually sends the message to the alien race to get them to come to Earth to destroy it, even though someone from the alien race has sent a message warning her, don't reply because they will come and get you. She does it anyway. So she sets off the chain reaction to actually bring the aliens to Earth to... Depends on, you can take it to ways, either to correct us or eliminate us, one or the other. And what I like about this is obviously it gives a 400-year timescale, and that is magnificent for developing how first contact may affect humanity. And I really like the way Cixin Liu actually developed that idea in here of how humanity would react to a potentially more intelligent species being coming into our knowledge, our existence, our lives. How would we react? Would we see them as some sort of gods or overlords, or would we fear them and want to go to war and straight to battle, or would we just resign to our fate that we're basically buggered? So yeah, so Yer Winja basically sends a message to destroy the Earth. Then we've got, in this book, the UN sets up the Wallfacer initiative, which is basically because the aliens have sent basically monitoring devices that can see everything we talk about and do. They think that anything that they can't see is what's in a person's head. So they set up a Wallfacer project and they give 4 people basically absolute power to make decisions without telling anybody. So the aliens don't know what's happening. And for some reason, the 4 people they choose are all men. No reason, that just happens to be. So we get that in there. So we've got women sending off a message to basically bring the aliens to us. Seemingly only men can be trusted to save humanity. And actually the saviour, Luoji, is probably one of the, well, not one of, is a sexist misogynist. But for some reason he's the man we need to save humanity. So there's that. So basically only men can save the world. Then we move into this one where we have Shengjin, who is, and this is where the stereotype comes in, is there's this maternal, caring, nurturing individual who is seemingly unable to make the tough decisions, and therefore through pretty much every decision she either avoids making or actively decides to make a decision on, puts humanity at greater risk. So she doesn't pull the trigger on the deterrent. She delays the research that's happening, and basically, major spoilers, it leads to effectively most of humanity dying. So it seems that all I would say is, across these books, most of the decisions that cause humanity to suffer and end up in worse scenarios is caused by women, and the only way to save it seems to be through the actions of men who are generally terrible people. I'm not quite sure that's the message he was trying to give. Maybe it was. Who do I know? I'd say, other than that, the ideas explored are magnificent. The 3-body problem, fascinating problem. The Dark Forest is just superb idea, and it's explored well, and it's explored interestingly, and this series is well worth reading just for the ideas alone. And Death's End, it gets very bizarre in dimensions and whatever else, but it's still fascinating ideas. All I'd say is, don't expect any good characters. I think I'll leave it there, because I'm probably babbling more than I should do. Thank you for watching. If you did enjoy this video, please do like, comment, subscribe, as usual. It was great speaking to you. I hope you got something out of this video. I hope I didn't babble nonsense. I mean, I'll see in the edit whether I just babbled nonsense, which is quite possible. But hopefully I'll see you in the next one. Bye. If you found it in any way informative and not just a complete mind-melting, I can't even speak.